and welcome to The Travel Show, where this week we're looking back at some of our favourite stories from the programme so far this year. Here's a taste of what's to come.
This car is raw, brutal, unadulterated power. Dan, let's do this, man.
Let's go.
Oh, yes. Whoa.
Ooh. Various species and bacteria smell of nature.
This, that's the...
That's the Cougar Cam.
You just trigger the trap?
There you go. Wish me luck.
How was it?
Oh, so cool.
All that and more coming up this week, including the time I explored a new museum at one of the world's most iconic sites here in New York. First up though, back in March, Mike headed to the other side of America to see if he could track down some of the mysterious mountain lions that live, unbelievably, on the outskirts of LA.
It's thought that there could be 30,000 mountain lions in western North America, but sightings are extremely rare. Now, passionate locals are using modern technology to photograph the lions and broaden public understanding of them. Joanna Turner first discovered the Verdugo lion P41 6 years ago, with one of over a dozen camera traps she set up just on the outskirts of LA. Today, I'm joining her to check one out and see if a lion's been through here recently.
This, that's the...
That's the Cougar Cam.
You just trigger the trap?
There you go.
Where's the camera? In the bottom.
Yeah.
So in 1 week, what would you expect to find on this camera?
The lions will habitually come through about every 2 to 3 weeks. So it depends on where we fall in there, and there's no telling until we take a look.
That's a funny photo of the raccoon.
Which,
This one.
Okay. All right, so this is what we're hoping to get.
Okay.
This is this camera spot from about a month ago. This is a really big male. He has eaten well very recently. This is a big burger baby there.
So, let's see what was on this memory card.
Yeah, hope we get to see him again. And let's see a couple of daytime shots. And yeah, that's the end of the roll.
All right, so 264 photos.
Not a single mountain lion.
But Joanna has often been much luckier catching lions on camera. She invited me to her LA home to show me some of her favorite photos and tell me more about P41, who was named as part of research work on local mountain lions.
When I started this, if a lion wandered into suburbia and was seen by people, they would call LAPD, they'd call animal control, and they would instantly send people out to find it and shoot it to kill.
They were scared of it.
Yeah. And once I started showing pictures of a lion that is calm, it went from shoot on sight to, well, we can tranquilize and relocate, and then at least it has a chance. Or now the ultimate step is, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Mike meeting mountain lions back in March. Well, in February, Carmen notched up another Japanese city during her 2019 Rugby World Cup Challenge. This time it was Kumamoto on the southern island of Kyushu, where as usual, she did some sightseeing against the clock. Let's see how she got on.
So I've got 90 minutes on the clock, starting from now.
Kumamoto Castle was heavily damaged in the 2016 earthquake and is now closed to the public. But restoration is underway and they have plans to reopen parts of it by the time the World Cup arrives this autumn.
はそちらの城塞の中にあります。
Down there. Thanks. Bye.
Kumamoto's specialty is the ikinari dango you can find served in the street. It's a steamed bun full of sweet potato and bean paste.
Which one's the most popular?
Actually, the purple one is very popular for women. Ikinari dango itself is like a soul food for Kumamoto people. And so when you miss home, you're going to miss the ikinari dango as well.
It's nice and warm and very sweet, but also very sticky.
You're welcome, my pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, I'm now heading for the tram. Geez, maybe it was over the bridge, yeah. Oh, we just made it. So Ryozo said to get on the back. It's quite busy. Arigatou gozaimasu. I'm looking for the Smell Museum. So apparently I got on at the wrong station and now I got off at the wrong station because I was told it was only one stop. So let's get back on that tram. Why didn't you tell me not to get off? Oh no, this is the... This is helpful. It's written in English here. Arigato. I'm a bit confused as to how I'm going to cross the road. I need to get over there. I think they're waiting for the green man. Okay, you can cross the tram lines. I think it's in the basement. Let me see what this sign says. Disaster Control Center. I think this is it. Look, there's a sign with big noses. Arigatou gozaimasu. Okay.
Next, a treat for your nose. You can find the Museum of Smell in a basement in a Kumamoto department store. There are dozens of different aromas to try out, ranging from the really quite lovely to the deeply unpleasant.
Okay, level 4. Smelly socks. Ew. Something's really rank in here. I guess I should be worried because this one's in a metal canister. Ah! Ugh. Various species and bacteria smell of nature.
I have no idea why anyone would pay to smell anything quite so offensive. So well done, Carmen, better you than me. Something a bit more uplifting now, when back in February, Rajan headed to the tiny city of St. David's in Wales to meet the artist who has vowed to paint everyone who lives there.
Originally a landscape artist, he started doing portraits 14 years ago. But it was only 5 years ago he undertook the mammoth task to do the whole population and then some. He's done 600 so far.
Well, the initial project was painting, say, 100 portraits and having them as one big image. So it'd be like a big painting. And then I just thought, if doing 100, I could do 1,000. And then I thought, well, the population of St. David's, it's not far off that. And so I just came up, I just thought the idea of the city of portraits sounded quite nice, and I thought I'd just try and do it.
Did you work out how long it would take you?
No.
There are probably more art galleries than anything else in St. David's, although in the case of Graham's place, it's also a studio and his living quarters too. It's a real one-man and his dog operation at the New Street Gallery. His models, however, see it all as a therapeutic exercise as much as anything else.
Well, I've quite enjoyed it really because I'm a very busy mum, studying, working in a cafe, doing my jewellery. So for me just to sit down, it's a bit of time out really, a bit of time for reflection.
It's a mammoth task for Graham, and the plan is to exhibit the first 800 to 1,000 portraits in the cathedral.
What are you actually achieving by doing this?
A bit of social history, I think. Somebody's described it as. For me personally, it's integrating more and more with the community.
Do people ever complain about the way you've depicted them?
I think people have been slightly shocked. Somebody said possibly a bit jowly there. It doesn't matter what age you depict somebody, you still see an inner beauty.
Oh, and guess what? A few days later, I got this through email. I'm now an honorary citizen of St. David's.
Well, Graham tells us that he's now around halfway through painting everyone in St. David's, so only another 900 or so to go. Good luck with that. Anyway, make sure you stay with us because coming up... we remember the time Addy burned some rubber in Dubai.
Wow, that was incredible. So much raw power.
We're about to set off 100 kilometres down a very icy hill.
And Krista went for the most intense journey of her life.
Oh man, woo! That was like being in a very cold tumble dryer. That was completely insane. Whew.
Behind me, far off into the distance, is one of the most iconic sites in the world, the Statue of Liberty. And back in May, I went to Liberty Island to visit a brand new museum just a few weeks before it opened. I even helped them out with some of the final preparations.
The piece de resistance, the original torch.
The torch.
The original torch.
Wow.
Stood up there from 1886 to 1984.
The original torch had been changed from Bartholdi's design to include a glass-panelled flame that could be lit up at night. In the 1980s, it was removed and replaced during a massive restoration of the statue. Talk to me about how difficult it was to get the torch in here.
Well, I didn't have to do it, but it was quite a task.
Yeah.
People worked for about 2 weeks from 3 in the afternoon till 3 at night. And they had this carrier that they laid the face on its back and then put the torch on it, and it all worked quite well. And here it is.
Martin and his team have been in charge of conserving the torch and cleaning it up.
Well, today is the last day. It's sort of the clean down from the top down. Mm-hmm. And so as they're finishing up the lighting fixtures inside, my job is then the final clean down of everything that falls down. It's just a simple cotton cloth, just trying to get the heavy things out.
Just getting rid of that dirt. Like with any cleaning job, it's never done. I think it's really quite impressive just how much detail there is on something that really wasn't designed to be seen close up. You know, just the detail is so intricate.
It's pretty amazing how it all comes together, huh? Part to part, piece to piece, and then all of a sudden you've got a torch.
Yeah.
It's so iconic, and you think about its history and how it stood for freedom and for liberty to people all over the world. It really is a remarkable piece of work.
Now, to finish this look back at some of our favourite films from the past few months, here's a couple that maybe prove it's not about where you're going, it's how you get there.
Howdy, how you doing, mate? You all right? Nice to see you.
Good to see you, Danny.
Okay.
Look at this mobile.
There you go, mate. Jump in. All set?
Yeah. Let's do it. Everywhere we look, I mean, I'm just seeing, what's that? Is that a Rolls Royce? We've got Rolls Royce going past, yeah. You see, like, Mercs. It's standard, like, supercars everywhere. What is it about Dubai? Why are they so in love with their supercars? Yeah.
I think there's a couple of different reasons. One is to show off. You know, as much as nobody wants to admit it, people do like showing off. Partly why people drive supercars is to put smiles on faces and to show off a little bit. Then there is the most amazing driving roads in the UAE. You know, you head out towards Jebel Jais in Ras Al Khaimah, or Al Ain is Jebel Hafid Mountain. You can head out towards Abu Dhabi. There is amazing driving roads here.
Well, if you fancy a nice car but don't necessarily have the bank balance to be able to afford one, then there are a couple of ways to get your high-octane fix here in Dubai without having to blow your life savings or sell your house back home. For a start, you can do a bit of window shopping at one of the local showrooms that specialise in top-of-the-range cars. Hello, Amin.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah,
Amin
nice to
Razak,
meet you.
Dr.
Not a bad showroom you've got here.
We try.
Yeah.
We're all about the supercars, about the luxury, and the biggest, the baddest, the fastest. The citizens here, they can afford these kind of bad boys, you know, from Ferraris to Lamborghinis to, you know, McLarens. So it's just one of those things. When you reach that certain stature in your life, you know, it's a representation or an extension, should we say, of who you are.
But if you haven't got enough disposable income to ship a souvenir home, then Danny's 9th Degree group of local supercar owners hold regular track days and events here. And they'll even let you hire one of their top-of-the-range models so that you can get behind the wheel, for a few hours at least. We're going to go for a spin in this car, and this car is the real deal. It's almost £1 million worth of raw, brutal, unadulterated power. Dan, let's do this, man.
Let's go.
Oh, yes.
Welcome to Segulda's bobsleigh track, one of the very few in the world where tourists can get the same adrenaline rush as professional racers.
The track is now used as a training venue for several Latvian champions, but there are no competitions on today, which is lucky for me because it means I get to try it out. Although having a look, I don't really feel so lucky. Okay, let's go. Get the team together.
We're about to set off 100 kilometres down a very icy hill, but luckily I've got an expert pilot, so fingers crossed everything goes very smoothly.
Apart from the pilot steering the bobsleigh from the front, a team also includes pushers and a brakeman. But tourists get it easy. They just need to duck in and hold very tight. This track is almost 1,500 metres long, and you need a pretty strong stomach to manage its 16 curves.
Oh man, woo! I think that's one of the most intense experiences of my entire life. That was like being in a very, very active, very cold tumble dryer for a minute and a half. I don't even know how long it was. That was completely insane. Whew.
Another winter sport that can take your breath away is this, the skeleton. Imagine a luge with no brakes or steering aid that you ride headfirst.
Well, I don't think I'm ready to try one of the full-blown skeletons, but there is a tourist version available that's a little bit more my speed. Wish me luck.
It's called a frog, and for this one, there's no crew to make me feel safe.
How was it?
Oh, so cool! I could go again. Try now, let's go.
Krista taking on the ice and surviving in Latvia back in April. Well, that's it for this week. Coming up on next week's travel show. We're back on the road again with our blind backpacker Tony Giles. So far, he's travelled to more than 125 countries on his own, and this time he's in Ethiopia.
That was amazing. There's so much river, and it's so contagious.
So join us next week as he explores the capital, Addis Ababa, in the first of 2 special films. In the meantime, don't forget you can follow our journeys on social media. Till next time though, from me, Lucy Hedges and all the Travel Show team here in New York, it's goodbye.